Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Tank Tycoon. I have been very surprised by Romania. Romania wants a tank. Fine, I have plenty on offer. My go-to is always the LK2 Light. This is the turreted mod. It just always works. I've sold, I don't know, 300 of these and I'm now sitting on $12 million. But they don't like it. And here's why. They are trying to break the stalemate of a war that requires an assault tank with exceptional cannon armament, good machine guns and sufficient protection to breach defensive positions. Yeah, I don't do that. Not with the LK2. The LK2 does have, well, a minus 167. You got a minus 355 for the FT-17. It is nowhere near strong enough because it only has the machine gun. Okay, the AP version then. Nope. HE version. Nope. The Saint-Chamond Mark 1. Nope. Doesn't have the protection that it needs. The Mark 2 with the up... Nope. No joy. Not enough protection. I'm not sure what sort of weapon of war they want, but it is not one of mine. I do, however, have one more trick up my sleeve. Maybe with that I can beat the Odin, Asfurum B, aka the A7V. I'm gonna have to build the Mark 8. Now the Mark 8 is something that I have had researched, I just haven't actually designed it because I thought, well, you know, the LK2 does everything, why would I need the Mark 8? Here is the Mark 8. This is a very, very heavy tank. It displaces 41,000 kilograms, or 41 tons. It does not do that very quickly, of course. It is not a fast tank. When you have the power unit, the Liberty V-shaped 12-cylinder, this is the strongest engine I can put into it. With that, it does get, actually for its size, an okay road speed, as well as a pretty decent cross-country speed. Now it's carrying the Landship Mark 1 track. Why? These tracks can carry it, but it just looks ridiculous. And this is only carrying the tank without crew and without guns. So we're going to have to use these new Landship tracks. Now over here, I have something that I haven't actually engineered yet, which is the Central Cab Mark II. With this, you can add, of course, more machine guns. Because more machine guns equals more firepower and death to everything that happens to come close to this tank. If I'm counting this properly, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 machine gun ports. And that is in addition to the ports that are already on the tank. That is how many machine guns you can put on here. Now, they wanted a hefty, hefty tank with a lot of hard firepower to deal with entrenched positions and potentially other tanks. Don't worry, we have you covered. Look at the, the sheer amount of weaponry I can throw onto this tank now. We're going to give it the best gun, which I think is the Hotchkiss QF 6-pounder. I'm currently in the process of researching a better gun. But this is most likely going to be the best firepower that I have. Kinetic pen is only 6, though. So for that, it is relatively low. Kinetic pen with this is 8. That's the base 6-pounder. And then with the 3-pounder, you got a kinetic pen of 3. Pretty bad. Otherwise, we have the blockhouse, the 75mm that we took from the French-German tank. You know, the one that I have acquired from them. Based on the stats I'm seeing, I'm going to go with the trusty QF 6-pounder. We're going to also do that on the other side. We're going to have... What position is that? I'm not sure if that actually does anything useful. Shooting directly behind the tank. This is going to have a lot of mobility. And it does seem to be in some sort of mount. So I guess maybe we'll be able to make some use of it. Let's put the Hotchkiss Emily 1914 in. I want to get another 14 over on the left. Another one over on the right. I'm probably not going to fill all of them up. Maybe I'll have 2 versions with one of them that actually does that, but you need so many gunners. Like, I wouldn't know where to put all these people, despite the fact that this is basically a walking fortress. So let's say that this is the version that does try to have all the machine guns. Maybe 12 crew members or so should be sufficient to man all of this. Like... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 men in a tank. How many crew members does the game think I need? Holy shit. They want me to have up to 22 gunner points. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. You're going to be a double role, you're going to be a gunner loader, and then we're going to have an additional mechanic. We got a couple of spare seats if anybody wants to ride along. I kind of doubt it, but, well, you're welcome to join. We have the AP shell, we got the special shell. The special shell is anti-infantry. We got the HE Mark II. We're going to have AP ammo for the machine guns, standard machine gun ammo, and the petrol 050 or 050, which just gives you some pretty decent stat bonuses, such as more power unit repairability. Now this one does have slightly better operational range, but I'm willing to sacrifice a bit of that. And over here we're actually getting crew safety, whereas with these you're sacrificing crew safety. As for paint, well, dunkelgrau. This thing is going into dark places. It might as well fit the paint. Unfortunately, I need to research, or I need to engineer a couple of these parts. And there are many of them that still need to get engineered. I don't know if I can get that done in time, because the engineering department is working on some other projects at the moment. We are trying to get a better version of the LK2 Mark II, and with that, it's going to take a few days. So I'm really hoping I can cram all of this in, but with an application of 31 days, I don't think I can get the design finished, because the design itself would probably take me 35 days, and... 62 days. Never mind. Still, absolute unit of a tank. And it feels like there are still ports like this one and the other one that I have not yet used. So, I guess there might be more machine gun ports. I mean, why not? More machine guns, more better. Still, give me a minute and I'll do some more engineering. A few weeks later, I found the research has yielded the LordenIII QF6 Pander. These things are vastly better than the guns that I've had. Unfortunately, with everything that I've now added onto the tank, the mass limit is exceeded. The tank is simply too heavy. So I'm gonna have to try and, well, reduce weight somewhere, and it could be here in the hull, because I need to strip off 500 kilograms. And, well, the landship hull is 20,000. So I think the easiest rewards can be found here. Alternatively, we're going to go over to the tracks, the running gear. If you have something like this, I find it easy just to make a copy and just adjust that in draft. So what I'm trying to do is save 500 kilograms here. And I can easily go over to the engineering department and go, okay, so what weighs a ton? And how can I save some weight? I think it's not going to be that easy. Well, actually here, the roof. See, the roof is going to allow you to cross bigger trenches, but it also weighs a lot. So I can just kick this off. I can kick off... Oh, actually, we're going to keep the roof. I can kick off the tail wheel. Let's say I don't need that, I don't need that, and boom. We're done. So that was easy. I can now also add the internal communications, which I have forgotten to do. And with that, my crew is going to be a bit more aware, a bit more able to communicate externally as well as internally. So with this, well, you know, I'll not be able or as able to cross trenches or any kind of big obstacles, but I should be within the weight limit. So let's assign the engineers on that. And with that little change, I think we might have our weight situation fixed. Let's see. If I set this thing up... Yep, now we're under the limit. And I can still field those bigger guns. It still looks like a tank. It just, well, doesn't have the big carry-on, shall we say, nor the tail wheel. Hopefully, this thing is going to be worth it, because I've poured quite a few resources into this. Let's see if it will pay out. Now, as the Mark VIII is standing by for another contract, I'm also working on the LK2. It's famous / infamous at this point. It sells still really well, especially this one with the turret. It is, however, a bit constrained in firepower. It only carries machine guns. So, time to change that little, let's say, oversight, shall we? Because just imagine the LK2 not with just machine guns, but with an actual main gun. The crew and mass limit could be a bit of a problem over here, because what I want to do is put on the Giro turret, which weighs 1500. So with this, the tank is definitely approaching a bit more of its mass limit, and especially once you start adding this thing, well, we're getting there. We're not quite there yet, but we're definitely getting there. It does require another gunner, and thankfully the gunners, I don't know, did they go on a diet? Never mind, they did not go on a diet. The gunners actually have weight. Expendables. Ammo, that's AP ammo for the machine gun, petrol, and let's give him AP for a very serious punch. Let's give them the camouflage. And when it comes to, I think, further engineering, I have created the LK2 Mark III hull. This one now has the rivets. I have upgraded the riveting armor to make it more durable. And hopefully with that, create even more protection. Engine-wise, I'm not sure if we really have any better options. Again, you're going to have to balance the weight of the engine, which is 2738 for this one, with the amount of power that it puts out. So let's hide these. Let's go to mobility. I'm getting a very, very good road speed out of this, but operational range is only 5. It's only 4 with this one. The problem is we're definitely going over the mass limit with that other engine. If I put the Schneider in, it's going to get even worse. And the Schneider overall seems to be a worse engine. So if I would want to put, let's say, the big engine in, we're over the mass limit. That means we're going to have to create another awful hybrid. Okay. Yeah. This is fine. This is fine. What kind of machine guns have I got? I got the Mark Hotchkiss. Let's go with the Mark IIs. Oh, never mind. Those were the same. Accidentally made a clone for that, but I don't have to. We got the Maschinengewehr, and that should be fine. I put the Maschinengewehr in there because it gives me a bit more gun depression. Gun depression is 10. And gun depression for the Hotchkiss is... Oh, actually, it's 14. So you'll also need to have... Oh, never mind. That's the reasoning. It doesn't have to go 14 degrees down. Because if you do that, you're kind of hitting the wrong hull. So the Maschinengewehr over there is fine. Whereas with these machine guns on the sides, you want to have a bit more gun depression. Just to make that thing work. Okay. I guess that's about it. For the LK2, let's say Mark II. Because at this point, it's become fairly unrecognizable relative to the LK2. So, 18 or 19 days. What? Am I not at crew? Really? Oh, I don't have a driver. Yes, I can imagine how that would make it a bit difficult. So let's get a driver. Gunner-wise, we're a little undergunned. I guess I could swap out a gunner mechanic for a sheer gunner, but then the mechanic's going to be understaffed. I think this is slightly better. I'm only losing 2 points here and 1 point there, but still satisfying most, whereas otherwise I'd simply have 5 out of 7 mechanics, or sorry, 4 out of 7 mechanics, which means I guess it won't be as good as repairing the vehicle. Alright, that'll do. The vehicle is substantially heavier than her counterparts. 10,588 or 14,219. So this thing, better protection. I'd say somewhat worse mobility, especially transportability drops.
But firepower is a lot better, because this thing does not have any hard firepower. This thing does. And that little bit of firepower, or potentially a lot of firepower, could offset the contract requirements for things that it might be slightly too heavy for. So let's engineer that and see if there's another interesting contract coming up. Now, when it comes to my tech tree, I've advanced quite a bit. I've researched most of the things here. And when it comes to firepower, I'm currently working on the enhanced common round. Mobility, I have the V-shape engine, the enhanced high-pass running gear, and all I have to do is research petrol octane 55. So in case you're wondering, how do you get to tier 2? Well, over here on the top left-hand side, you get achievements, and with that, it goes and forces you to get 400,000 points. This can be done by getting all sorts of different things done. So you can get more employees, which is really a drop in the bucket. Interestingly, technologies unlocked, I think, is vastly underrated at only 350 points. And sure enough, the amount of contracts that you've secured and the amount of finances that you have, so basically the money that you have now, that's all very valuable. But getting to 400,000, that feels like a stretch. I'm not sure if this is a placeholder number. We'll have to see. But I'm going to be doing a bit of grinding, hopefully getting this number up and making sure that we get to tier 2. Time for some new engineering. I have researched the Vickers heavy machine gun. With this, I get quite a few upgrades. You get the Mark IV insert, the Mark IV barrel, and the magazine Mark III. So with this, we can add even more firepower to our already pretty intimidating machine gun boxes. Let's see what we have. The Vickers series. I don't think I need to really engineer too much about these, because they generally start out with their own tier. So they're Mark III, the Mark IV. There's not really much that I need to do. All I need to do is put these on a tank and see what that does. So let's pick one of our best-selling tanks. That's the LK Mark II series. I'd say this one tends to generally do best. So let's make a clone of this. And let's go for something that's slightly easier to read. This is going to be the LK2 Mark I Vickers. So we're going to have the Vickers in all the ports. Now these weigh 29, that's the Hotchkiss 1914. Let me just tear all of these out and then replace one. So I can see what the stat changes are going to be. Not the mobility, not the protection. Firepower soft, here we go. How good is the Vickers? Rate of fire. That's a very notable one. Now, it's going to be a bit difficult to compare these. This is something I would definitely like to see changed in the game, because I want to see what these stat changes are going to be. Like, why is this better or why is this not better? Should I pick this one? Should I pick the other one? So let's just compare them like this. Accuracy for the Vickers is better. Range for the Vickers is better. ROF for the Vickers is better. Gun elevation is better. Gun depression is better. Anti-ricochet is a lot better. Damage is a lot better. Kinetic pen is a lot better. And even small pen... Holy crap. So the Vickers is just better in every single regard. When it comes to weight, these things weigh 29. The other ones also weigh 29. Wow. So with all of these Vickers, this thing should have another nice buff to its soft stats. Soft pen damage stats. Can I fit these? Yep, it fits. Gun-wise, we have enough crew. Yeah, I think I don't really need to add a whole lot more. I am researching different ammunition, so I can get better ammunition for the infantry or for the anti-infantry weaponry, really. Beyond that, I mean, I got the best engine for this thing. Not strictly the best as in power output, but if you go to something that is slightly heavier, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be getting a more mobile tank, unfortunately. Your obstacle trench is slightly lower, your road speed is slightly lower, and that's with the lighter engine, so it really doesn't matter that much. If you want to go with one of the other engines, then all of a sudden this thing goes very quickly in the opposite direction. You're looking at a 14,000 ton tank, which doesn't, well, 14 ton tank, 14,000 ton tank is a bit heavy. 14 ton tank, which doesn't work very well for the contracts that this thing is designed to take on. The tracks... Again, there's not a whole lot that I can improve here. Even with the better tracks, at the Leichtwagen Mark II, your weight just jumps. And they might have better stats, but overall, it just doesn't fit the vehicle anymore. The Crochat Collard Bleu. No, Collard 2. These are the ones that I borrowed from that vehicle, but then again, you're also looking at 12,000 kilograms. It's too heavy. The Whippets, 11. This might work, but then again, if you want to add that better engine, like, I found this thing to get pretty heavy pretty quick. And your mobility doesn't necessarily improve a whole lot. So, back to the original tracks. That is the Leichtwagen, and that is the original engine. As for the turret, I don't need to improve much there. I can upgrade to the Krupp Mark II, which has slightly better protection stats. At least I believe so. Yeah, I think I can upgrade this one to have the better steel. FHA, bolted. Yeah, this is the new type of rivets that I have. I have currently in this turret the bolted assembly, but I can switch that to the riveted assembly Mark II. Now, stats-wise, you're getting more volume limit inside the tank, because the bolts take up more space. Crew protection is slightly less. Repairability, as you might imagine, with things that are just bolted on, are a lot worse. You can definitely, well, not bolted on, like I don't know, riveted, I guess. You can just nail these things in. These things you actually got to screw on, and that means you can also take them back out. But the structural integrity of the tank is better. So, yeah, let's just offer this one. And then for a turret hatch, there's not a whole lot of difference there. So, let's save this. Let's get the engineering team on that. And then after that is done, complete the design of that new LK2 Mark I. Let's add one more Vickers. I'm going to save it. No, it is not the Mod 1 clone. Thank you very much. The Mark I Vickers. And I think that might just replace some of the older ones. Because this is pretty much the same tank. Except for the fact that it has a different turret and it has different machine guns. So I think this design is superseded by this one. Especially considering that the weight is less and it has more punching power. So we're definitely making progress. Now, unfortunately, for the time being, this appears to be it for the early access version. I am recording this on February 6th, which is also when the early access has been opened. So, if you want to try this game for yourself, link down below in the description. The things that you currently cannot do are make it to rank 2, or tier 2. That's where you get the better, let's say, interwar period. That's going to be the next big patch. When that thing hits, I'll be back with more content. If you have any requests for me to do on this game or any challenges, by all means, let me know down below in the comment section, and I look forward to seeing what sort of weird and wonderful things you can come up with. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon for more Tank Tycoon.